You are joining the Mexia Black Cat 2020 Baseball Talk. Here shortly, we'll have Coach Simpson, J.R. Deichler, here for a short interview, just talk about how practice is going and what the upcoming season is going to look like. So just join us back in a few minutes once our coach arrives, and we'll be getting going shortly. Let me give a shout out to our sponsors that's helping us with this program tonight. We got Mexia Sports Network, Greer Time Media, Joe Fridays, Napa Auto Parts, and Woodman Life. So come back in a few, and we will have some Mexia Black Cat baseball talk.
Sports Network. Tonight's game is brought to you by Greer Time Media, Posey Napa Auto Part, Greer and Greer Mobile Detail, Mookie's Mesquite Patch Barbecue, Woodman Life Insurance, and Joe Fridays.
That's the mentality that we're trying to teach to our younger guys. The older guys might have it, but when you're teaching the youngsters, that's never really done it before, or kids that don't take it as serious, it's tough sometimes, But we've only went to the gym. We went to the gym twice this week. For the most part, the guys were locked in, but when they weren't, we just.
But the bad thing about that is once all of those seniors graduate, do you feel like you're going to have to rebuild next year, or are your upperclassmen this year doing a job of showing a great model of leadership and an important role of what it means to be that leader on the baseball field for those underclassmen? I'm
trying to think of some of the other younger guys, but there's some more talent down there, and that's one good thing that having a big senior class does. It allows those other guys to play together. So next year when these guys step off the field, those younger guys have played with each other for hopefully 2 to 3 years. So now they kind of understand each other too. And it just is all town pitching. I mean, the pitching's going to be tough, but we got a couple of young pitchers that are going to be pretty decent, I think, for us this year.
That's good. And it's hard to look at BJ and think of him as just a junior. BJ Sunday. Coach Simpson, as we left off, was talking out to you that you can incorporate into what you do, which we know that you're a tremendous baseball player. You play baseball year-round. But there's always something different where we're like, wow, I might want to try that.
Yeah. They've been working harder. And I know last year we was working hard, but, this year I've just seen, something different from everybody from that varsity team. It's just, this year is just something different. Getting the playoffs that one year and then basically having the whole team return. We're just we should be able to do it again, and let's work harder, maybe get past that first round, and just working hard has just been I've seen everybody it's crazy. Everybody's just working a lot harder.
I'm gonna pick on BJ right fast. He don't like to be vocal sometimes. I mean, that had never been his role, but it's cool to see a young man step out and do that. They are, and again, some of those other seniors that type of person, but BJ hasn't. But this last week or so, he's stepping up and starting to be a little bit more vocal, and it's fun to see that, because sometimes I'm always have to be that guy, but it's awesome to see your players step up and say, hey, man, that's not how we're doing it. That's not us, right. Not just have to be the coach doing it. When the players are holding the players accountable, man, it changes a lot of things.
Yeah, we kind of ran into that last year with young JR here. We had to try to extinguish the difference between being a leader and being cocky.
Yes, sir.
Sometimes you have to live and you learn, and I think that's one thing that Jeff took from last year was learning the difference of leading your team and not feeling like, hey, I'm number one.
Right.
And I saw a difference in that throughout the year, and you're doing a great job leading this team and showing them that the road to success starts here, not here.
Right, and it it sucks sometimes, like you were talking about the cocky part, but like I was trying to tell JR last year, I said, man, you just play hard and you give it your best, and everybody knows you don't have to necessarily show it. Like, they're gonna know. Like, you just play ball and enjoy enjoy your family, enjoy your teammates, enjoy your coaches, and everything's gonna play for itself. But when you start trying to necessarily do that, I'm not saying it's always gonna happen, but when you start trying to be number one or be the pedestal type person, a lot of times good things aren't always going to happen to you, and that's what I was trying to just preach to JR, like just relax and play ball and be you, but at the same time, you don't want to put yourself away from your teammates, because now at the end of the day, kind of we're going back to defense and stuff, you want those guys behind you, and you want them playing hard and diving and doing what, making those awesome plays for you, but just talking to those guys, I want to play baseball right, and I know the scandals and with the Astros and things like that have been going on, and I see people, doing things the wrong way. I necessarily don't want to play baseball like that. I want to play baseball the way it was, meant to be played, with character and hustling around and having just a great time, so.
With that black cat pride.
Yeah, black hat pride.
Yeah.
I've always been that type of person, Mr. Dykler. I'm not gonna say I'm perfect, but I want the boys to understand, like, that's the way you should live life. You should live life, doing things right and portraying things right, not just doing it half tail or going off on your own, because a lot of times that's not going to turn out well for your family or your friends or whatever you're doing. So
yeah, anytime that I coached a team in baseball or basketball, I would always tell them I don't expect perfection, but I do expect you to strive for perfection.
Right.
And of course we'll never reach it. But it's always great to work to try to reach that perfection. But we're going to take a small break, and we'll be back in 30 seconds with more 2020 Mexia Black Cat Baseball Talk. Back to 2020 Mexia Black Cat Baseball Talk. Coach, let's get into District 19 4A Region 3 talk just a little bit. This year, of course, we're having to play the same teams again. We got Palestine, who are down a little bit, Madisonville, who are down a little bit. Now, you and Russ, both are basically almost coming back with the same amount of starters as you ended with last year.
Yes, sir.
So we have to play Fairfield, who always is your alma mater and always gives us a tough game, no matter if we go there or they come here. With Madisonville being down a little bit this year and Palestine being down a little bit this year, they always find ways to put players together on the team to make a strong playoff run. When one of y'all's key wins last year was in Palestine when y'all won 5-1 against a great Palestine team.
Yeah, and they end up beating Madisonville.
Yeah.
And cost us that third place opportunity. You know. So.
But one of the nemesis that's kind of been the past couple of years is the Palestine and Athens and Madisonville taking both games in the series, and y'all, that was a very crucial game that y'all won. And I think that was the most exciting game I went to last year.
Yeah, Caleb Fox got that hit to kind of open it up late in the game. The boy hadn't hit all season, but he got that clutch hit. That was huge. And JR pitched a great game, but those kind of guys like that stepped up. I can't remember. I think somebody else had a clutch hit too. It might have been Jaden that game, if I'm not mistaken. Hit up the middle, or somebody did. But they had some clutch hits late in the game, because I think it was like a 2-1, or it was a really, really close game.
Right.
And then we kind of opened it up that last inning, so it was big.
Yeah, I kind of saw him getting a little his arm getting a little tired there towards the end, and that's where your defense comes in. And if it wasn't because of that great defense that was played that game, that could have been a different story, because it was what tied 1-1 for the longest, and then in the end y'all just had more steam than Palestine did. What do you see this year that you feel is going to set y'all apart and make y'all a top runner for the district championship this year?
Biggest thing, that I've been talking about the parents and the kids is we just got to throw more strikes, and let the defense work. Because, at the end of the day, those are guys that are going to be winning this game. It's not necessarily going to be the stuff like that. we're going to have to throw some balls that are going to be hit, and we're going to have to make plays on them. And the other thing is we're going to have to be able to score runs when we need them. Cash in on the runners on second with one out, or got a runner on third. We got to find a way to scratch them in whatever possible way. And that's the way we got to get this mentality going. And I'm going to try to get it in them going a little bit sooner, but just got to get it. Got to have that all in. I'm just telling them all in. We got to have that all in mentality. Like, it doesn't matter what I ask. Coach says bunt. It doesn't matter if he's the 4-hole, 3-hole, whatever it is. We got to be all in for the team and find ways,
Right.
And I know Coach over there at Madisonville, he does a really, really good job, and that's why they can reload every year, because they do a great job. Same thing with Palestine. Those guys are good. Rusk, pretty much everybody in our district, man, they know how to coach, and, Madison or Rusk, they got some young pitchers coming up. That's going to be the biggest battle. Are we going to be able to play a good game against them and cash in, like I said, when we got to run or bunt them over or whatever it is?
Right. Yeah, that's kind of one thing that I kind of observed against Waxahachie Life when y'all played Saturday. Y'all would get a hit here and maybe a stolen base here, but not able to advance that runner from second to home.
Yeah.
And get that one
Well, talking about that, these two guys came in late, so my lineup was a little off. I just had to stick them in a hole where I could try to fit them in, so that wouldn't have been.
The sad thing about that is him getting late was my fault.
No, that's all right.
But,
so I wasn't able to set the lineup this weekend like the way I wanted it. So,
right.
But it was fine. Those scrimmages are just more for the work versus the win or loss or scoring. Getting the rust off. So hopefully this next scrimmage this Friday and Saturday will be good for the boys.
Right. Now, BJ, this question's for you. Being the catcher and kind of being the captain controller on that field as the catcher, you got new pitchers coming in, which you've caught Jordan, you've caught Jaden, you've caught Evan, you've caught JR. What have you done to kind of start working with these younger pitchers that are coming in that are having a chance to step up on varsity and play key roles on the team? Because I know that there comes a certain persona and a feel between a catcher and a pitcher. What steps have you been taking to kind of guide those young pitchers in the right direction?
Every time Coach Simpson tells them to throw a bullpen, I'm always the one to ask, like, hey, let me go ahead and catch it. And, like, if it's, like, 3 of them and he's got 2 more, I'll be like, hey, I'll still catch him. I need to work on it anyways, learn how the ball moves, the change-ups, curveballs, all that. So it's really just working with them, throwing with them, catching the bullpens and all that. So.
Cool. And so far, with having BJ doing that, the younger catchers don't complain when I say, hey, y'all got to catch a bullpen, because they know BJ will volunteer as quick as anybody. So it's good to have a leader like that, especially catching the pitchers, because you need another catcher, for those younger guys. Because I really don't want BJ having to catch, 8 bullpens. He needs to probably catch the older guys and let the younger guys. Because, again, like he said, they need to learn their pitches and learn those things too. So it's good to have that. It really is. It really is.
Now, JR, last year, when we were in Mark, you hit your first home run. And the sad thing about it is I did not get to see it because once you made contact, the sun was blinding me. I never saw where the ball went. Once you hit that home run, did you feel like, okay, now I know I can hit home runs. I need to change something on my swing so I can lift the ball more? Or did you continue just trying to drive the ball and hit for average? My bad. I'm sorry.
Well, after I hit that home run, I started just trying to swing for the fences. But what Coach Simpson has taught me, just try to hit base hits every time.
Just hit the ball hard is what I've been preaching to him. And, that was a great hit there, and I was excited for him. I think the whole team was. But at the end of the day, when they started trying to get that mentality, no, he can keep it. The biggest thing for him that like he was saying, I was teaching him is just keep working hard and don't worry about that. Because again, if you start worrying about the home runs, another one's probably not going to come. I learned that from my own experience. When I started trying to do things, baseball doesn't really reward you a lot of times. So Jared, just keep working hard on that stuff.
Yeah, going back to trying to swing for the fences, the game in Waxahachie Live, I was trying to swing for the fences. That's why I kept on popping up and everything, and because to me they're slow. And but me changing my swing up and everything, I haven't really changed anything. Just my hip movements, trying to get more power off the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say something to you when you got home, but daddies, we don't know anything. So
Yeah.
I'll let your coach take care of that.
Yes, sir.
Now, JR, with you being a senior this year, what are you doing with the underclassmen to present a positive demeanor and to care on the success that will carry on with the Black Cats as you leave out?
So what I'm trying to carry on with them is just try to do right. If they make a mistake like today, say Marshall made a couple mistakes, had to get on to him, because you already know that if you make a mistake, you gotta, because they're trying to get negative over just making one mistake. If you're gonna be negative, you can't play the game of baseball. But if you just get positive, like say if I make a mistake, then you just gotta move on to the next play. Because if you don't move on to the next play, then
the next one's gonna eat you up again.
You're not gonna be ready, and it's just gonna make more errors, and make your team go more down.
BJ, same question for you. What positive demeanor are you trying to present to this Black Cat team that you will be a part of as well next year? Too. What demeanor and positivity are you trying to leave for this Black Cat team to look forward to succeeding in the future?
To never take time off. Every practice, anytime I see somebody, I think taking the time off, I'm getting on to them. Especially this year, I feel like I have a chip on my shoulder this year to just help these seniors to try to go as far as we can in playoffs for the last year. And, everything I've just telling them, don't take time off. You don't have time to be playing around or anything. Like you have time to play around, but when you're in the field, you're practicing, it's not the time for it. So, and then every day I'm trying to get some kids, a group of kids to stay after practice, just get extra work and just get more work in.
And that's one thing that I love watching about these teams. It doesn't matter if it's basketball, baseball, football, soccer. It's a family environment. And you see that throughout the players. Whenever something happens, like you said, you have to be able to say something but not get upset that somebody called you out like that. And that's what I love about this Black Cat team.
And that's one thing we're trying to work through again with the youngsters. They don't realize it. Like we're some of the ones that not necessarily in athletics that just play baseball, but when these guys get on them, it's nothing personal. We just got a higher expectation, and we got to keep working to it. And kind of like you were talking about staying after and stuff, that's one thing that the kids know, and BJ and JR, I never say no. Like if you look, I'm not, and it's no offense to them, my other coaches or anything like that, but I'm going to stay the latest because it's my team. Like I feel like, if nobody else wants to work with them, I'm going to stay till 7:30 or till the kids want to go home. I mean, that's just my mentality, and it's always been like that. If JR wants to stay or BJ, like they stayed till dark today. I mean, that's just the mentality that it's good to show that. Again, if the older guys are going to stay till dark, those younger guys are going to stay till dark. I mean, it just is what it is. Right. And like BJ's saying, when we're on the field, we got to get work because I'm telling you right now, we're already behind. I mean, it sounds crazy. Like we might have only had 7 practices, but we're 7 practices behind everybody else. So that's my mentality. Like we got to get a lot of work in, and when we are on the field, we got to take everything serious because in my mind, we're already behind. So if we're practicing like that and we're mentally like, hey, we're already behind, we got to get all the reps, best reps. That's the mentality you got to have, to catch those teams, to catch the Russ, to catch the Madisonvilles, If we're taking days off or taking plays off, those plays are going to hurt us later on down the season.
Right.
So
yeah, and me and Jared were kind of talking a little bit before y'all came in about Russ being ranked in the top 10.
Yeah.
I said, well, if you look, y'all beat Palestine last year. They were ranked higher than y'all. Well, they weren't in the top 10. It don't matter. Yeah. You like Herm Edwards said, you win. You play to win the game.
Yeah.
And you have any team can be beaten on any given day, no matter how good you are, no matter how good.
Well, they ranked them high, like you said. They got some good talent coming back, but it's their pitching coming back that's keeping them ranked high. I don't necessarily know if it's their offensive side, but I know defensively and their pitching, it's going to put them up there with the top
right.
guys. Early on especially.
Yeah,
So.
and I expect another grinding out fight in our district because we have one of the toughest districts out there in 4A.
Yeah.
Now, I got 3 questions I want to ask JR and BJ about baseball. Okay, BJ, what do you enjoy most about baseball?
Good question.
Baseball.
Baseball.
Baseball. Man, it's to me is I look at it as it's different from any sport. Like, and it's just it's hard to learn, stressful to learn. I know when I was younger, I was like it made me to the point where I wanted to just quit all around, and then it just one day I was like, man, like I don't know why I wanted to do that. I love this game, and so I don't know what it is about it. It's just being on that field and just getting to do what I know I can do. Is just
Because baseball's mean. That's why it's tough. It's mean.
So what do you
Can
find
be.
harder to hit, an 85-mile-an-hour fastball or a golf ball that is sitting still, not even moving?
Golf ball not moving.
Golf ball. Jared, what about you? What do you like best about baseball?
What I like about baseball is just loving to play the game every day. It's just playing since I was little was just been very enjoying. It's just with my brother playing since we were little. I just love seeing them every day playing baseball with them. I'm gonna miss it as I graduate.
That's one of the biggest things, like Jaron was saying, and BJ, I mean, love the game and everything like that. And the brotherhood is, those guys love being around each other. Like, at practice, it's fun. Like, I love being out at practice because these guys are just themselves, and they get to, like you said, hang out with their friends and get to enjoy themselves. It's fun to watch and be around. It really is.
Boot camp changed us.
Boot camp changed you. All right, JR, where do you find most challenging